Hey everybody, Peppermint here, and welcome back to another episode of the Anomaly. I think this is the first time I've had my face cam with this series, because when I recorded it before I was very sick, but I'm all better now, so let's go ahead and load up our save here. And last episode, we were being really bad people and spreading rumors about our classmates. So let's see where it goes this time. So, just going back a little bit, the three of us quickly got to work editing the girls' profiles to show that all three of them were in a relationship with Sal Serrano. It was simple enough, but odds were that it was more than enough to throw a monkey wrench into things. It would be obvious to the girls that something was fishy with their accounts, but the damage was already dealt either way. Looking good, gang. Ready to spice things up a bit? Do you even need to ask? Lena giggled and leaned up against my chair, looking between the monitors like a lion stalking her prey. We may have had the technical know-how, but she was the expert when it came to high school social structure. It was her turn to take control. Let's start with something nice and inflammatory, shall we? Tucker, can you find Stacy on Jana's friends list? I was hardly a master when it came to social media like this, but it only took a few moments to find Jana's friends list and Stacy at the top of it. I clicked the girl's thumbnail and brought her page up before glancing back to Lena for further instruction. Alright, nice. You know how to post on someone's feed, right? I think so, yeah. Perfect. Now just post something simple and straightforward. Like, if you know what's good for you, you'll stay away from Sal. This is so bad. Like, I'm pretty sure you can get in actual legal trouble for doing stuff like this. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. We're already playing the angle of uncovering the fact that they're all involved with this guy, so it's only going to create more drama if we add some directed comments. You're a little too good at this, Lena. Lena looked back to Kira with a cross between a smile and a wince, chuckling in embarrassment as I jotted in the message and posted it. Can't argue with you there. I promise I don't use my powers for evil, though. This is evil! There's no justifying this. Well, I'm done with Samantha's page. I narrowed my eyes at her before navigating to Samantha's page to inspect the damage. My eyes went wide as I found the first post, tagged so that Sal would see it as well. Jesus Christ. Had so much fun with you last night, Sal. Glad my first time was with you. You have no chill, Valerie. Really? Ross was usually the front runner in the going way too far department, but Valerie took the cake this time. I knew Valerie was evil. It's that scarf. I couldn't argue with how effective the brutal approach that she was taking would probably be. Still, it was hard to justify taking things to that level. We didn't even know the girl, right? I'm with you. Val, that may be a little too much, don't you think? Valerie logged out of the girl's account and shrugged, leaning back in her chair and cracking her knuckles. Oh, trust me, I could have been a lot worse. That's not the point. Val's right, these bitches are ice cold. If we want this to work well, we need to play with fire. I guess so, but it still feels like a bit much. Alright, how are you doing over there, bro? Bruh. Well, if we're playing with fire, may as well mix things up a bit. How does this look? Lena leaned over Ross's workspace to read what he had ready to post on Stacy's page. So tired this week. Ain't easy carrying the whole squad on your back, lol. Oh wow, I love it. Throwing some cheer squad drama in too. There's no way this isn't going to create a shitstorm. That's awful subtle for you, Ross. I'm kind of surprised Valerie outdid you in the brashness this time. Whatever works, man. Nothing wrong with a healthy dose of passive aggression. Definitely. I think we've got it, guys. If this doesn't make waves, I don't know what will. Now we just have to wait. Well, I don't exactly keep my finger on the pulse of high school drama, so you'll have to keep me posted, Lena. Thanks for all the help. Will do, and of course, any time. I just hope everything works out for Ethan. Thanks, Lena, all of you. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but you guys are awesome. How about that code then, buddy boy? Yeah, a deal's a deal. Even if it doesn't work out, you guys came through. The code's yours. I'll send a group text with it later. So now we can get into the storage room whenever we want. I just can't wait to see the fallout from this. Never a dull moment with you guys. Watch, we're all gonna get expelled and arrested. It's actually mostly dull moments, to be honest. Lucky you showing up right when things got interesting. Well, as interesting as this all is, missing another period probably won't be the greatest idea. I think I'm gonna head out. Yeah, I better head out too. Don't want to leave too bad of an impression my first week, I suppose. Just a moderately bad one, right? Exactly. I laughed as I got up and gathered my things along with Ross. It was nice to get everyone together in the shed again. It had been too long since we had an honest-to-goodness little session like this. It'd be nice to just hide in here all day, and the thought definitely came to mind, but it was probably a little smarter to take the responsible approach. I didn't want Kara to think I was a total deadbeat either. Be sure to let us know how things go, Ethan. Try not to get caught up in the hurricane we probably just created, yeah. Just follow the smoke. It's not going to be pretty. And yeah, I'll try not to. Ross and I were all packed up, and it looked like everyone but Valerie was ready to head out. She was still in her seat, looking like she was in one of her trademark space outs. I glanced between Ross and Ethan, who only gave me lazy shrugs. You coming, Val? Huh? Oh, yeah, sorry. I'll catch up. Just lock up when you leave, alright? I'll be in deep shit if the shed is unlocked. Yep. It was a little weird, but it wasn't anything entirely out of the ordinary for Valerie. I feel like she's gonna post like a lot more bad stuff online and she just doesn't want us to see. I don't know. I don't trust Valerie. She's my least favorite. Something about her is just like, don't like you. I knew that her little attitude belied a lot going on in her head. I think we all did. Didn't entirely explain her space cadet trips, but we all learned a long time ago that it was best to just let her be when that's what she wanted. Is she alright? Kira whispered in my ear as silently as she could, and I gave her a subtle nod as we left the shed. Truthfully, I didn't really know well enough to answer yes or no, but Valerie kept whatever demons she was dealing with to herself, to the point that there was really no way for any of us to know one way or the other. It was easier to give Kira the shallow response rather than explaining something I barely understood myself. Well, thanks again for the help, guys. Later. We said our goodbyes and split off to our different classes. Unfortunately, Kira and I didn't share the next class. The rest of my morning was completely uneventful. I trudged through my next couple classes, unable to focus on anything but the morning in the shed. After the confusing evening with Kira the day before, it seemed like things were back to normal again, if I could call it that so soon. Honestly, things were going as well as I could have hoped for. Kira was still a little bit quiet around everyone, but it seemed like she fit into our little gang pretty well. If she was uncomfortable or wasn't having fun hanging out with everyone, she certainly wasn't showing it. Lunchtime couldn't come quickly enough. I managed to drift through my classes without looking totally lost, as absent as my mind was through them, and the lunch bell rang soon enough. My books were in my backpack, and I was out of the door before the rest of the class had even registered that the bell was ringing. Yeah, that was me in high school. I had all my stuff packed up, and I just ran out of the door as soon as possible. See you later, losers. My mind was already out of the classroom, so my body followed like a heat-seeking missile. Minutes later, I was plopped down at our usual table, although I was the only one there. It wasn't long before Ross showed up, sandwich in hand and his mouth already full of food as he sat down across from me. You're here early. I raised my eyebrows at him as he gave me a muffled greeting, mouth still full of food. Guess so. The manners, though. He opened his food-stuffed mouth towards me for a moment and I cringed. So you're one of those people. Finding Ross in a rare, serious moment was all but impossible. He played his comic relief role in our little group very well, even if we only got his jokes half of the time. Catch wind of any drama yet? Nah, I've just been spacing in class for the last couple hours. How about you? Before Ross could reply, Elena appeared and popped into a seat at the table, a subtle but cheeky smile across her lips. Something told me that if anyone knew what was going on this early, it was her. I suppose you two are looking for an update on our sabotage efforts, Also, me and Lena are like wearing the same pink sweater. Twins. Lay it on me. What's going on? Well, from what I hear, Jana and Stacy are already at each other's throats. Apparently, someone heard them having it out hardcore in the bathroom, and word is that Stacy even quit the cheer team. Oh, it's all just hearsay at this point, though. Why are we doing this? Mission accomplished, then. Ruining friendships before lunchtime. That could be our new motto. This is not something to be proud of. Well, maybe. The coach still needs to catch wind of everything for things to go as we planned. This was all to throw a monkey wrench in Sal's life, not just cause some cheerleader drama. Oh, he will. I glanced back towards Ethan's voice as he walked up and took a seat beside me. He hasn't yet, but the battle between those girls is the closest thing this school has seen to a world war. They aren't the type to handle their issues in private, so he'll figure it out soon enough. And when he hears about Sal's involvement in it, then our work is done. Ethan nodded and leaned back in his chair with a satisfied smile on his face. We really ought to do this kind of thing more often, like social vigilantes, you know? We could do a lot of good for this shithole of a school. Like modern-day highwaymen who stir up high school drama instead of stealing from the rich. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a pass on that. It's been fun, but I think my days of social sabotage are over. Psh, suit yourself. The assholes in this school could do with getting knocked a few pegs down, and you know there's no lack of them. That's a wasted opportunity if I've ever seen one. Ethan, if everyone seems like an asshole, you're the asshole. That's usually how that goes. And Valerie showed up about halfway through Ethan's little speech, rolling her eyes and slumping down into a seat. Why don't you use your brain for once and do it yourself then, Judge? Judge? You can be the judge, jury, and executioner of Cheyenne Mountain High all by yourself. Make the world a better place, hotshot. That's way too much work. Ain't gonna have any time for that kind of stuff once Coach McLevin puts me back on the starting roster anyways. Just be grateful we helped you out in the first place. Speaking of which, you still haven't texted us the code like you promised. Ethan grumbled and fished his phone out of his pocket, resting his elbows on the table and shifting his attention to the little screen. Fine, I'm doing it now. It's not like anyone needs it right this second. Chill out. Our phones all buzzed in our pockets at once as he sent out the group text, and Valerie gave him a short, satisfied smile as she inspected her phone. I had to admit that I had some creeping doubts about the morality of what we did. Thank you, Tucker. I'm glad you're at least questioning if that was okay or not. Maybe these girls were as awful as everyone sometimes pinned them out to be, but from the sound of it, we had actually ruined a friendship with our actions. Granted, all we did in the end was expose the truth of what was going on, but it was still hard not to feel a little guilty. I just reminded myself that we got the shed code out of it at the very least. Even if it was a little bit of a dirty way to get a hold of it, at least we didn't come away empty-handed. Where's your girlfriend, Tucker? Thought she'd be tagging along as usual. Ross's snicker roused me from my little moment of contemplation, and I looked up at him. He definitely wasn't the first one to notice Kira's absence. I expected her to show up at some point, but lunch period was already getting close to being over, and there was still no sign of her. She wasn't obligated to hang out with us for lunch every day, or at all, but I still kind of thought she'd show up at some point. It was hard for my mind not to go back to the awkward moment with her the day before. I could only hope everything was alright. She's not my... Damn it, Ross. I don't know, though. I thought so, too. Trouble in paradise already, eh? Ethan prodded my shoulder teasingly and I groaned, shaking my head. I guess it was unavoidable, considering there wasn't much denying the fact that I was hung up on Kiera. I could only hope that my so-called friends would keep their mouths shut when she was actually around. You guys are idiots. I'm sure she's just busy or something. It's not a big deal. Sort of feels like you're trying to convince yourself of that more than us. Dr. Val in the house. Seriously, you guys are reading way too far into this. I sighed and got up, shaking my head at their comments. Maybe their words had a ring of truth, but they were making way bigger of a deal out of it than it really was. While you're all making up conspiracy theories about me, I'm going to get some... Before I could finish my sentence, a loud clatter rang out across the cafeteria, snapping everyone's attention to the sudden commotion. An overturned lunch tray and a massacre of mashed potatoes and chicken fingers lay scattered across the tile floor, two girls standing nearby locked in a stare down. Everyone around them seemed to shrink away from the scene, watching on from a good safe distance. I had no idea who the girls were, but it only took me a couple of seconds to connect the dots. I was looking at none other than Janice Stevens and Stacy Hodge, and they didn't look like they were in the best of moods. I can't believe you. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Does it look like I even care? I should have expected you to work your tricks on Sal. He's a good guy. You're just up to the same old shit as always. The four of us exchanged dumbfounded looks before looking back to the hurricane we had wrought. Oh, snap. Is this happening right now or am I dreaming? Oh, it's happening, all right. Shush, I gotta hear this. Huh, are you for real right now? For one, Sal doesn't give a shit about a mousy little tramp like you. And two, I can say the same damn thing of you. I mean, I get it. You don't have the look, so it must be easier for you to throw your body at boys to get any action. That's not true. He told me that he really cared about you. Please, Stacy, he was just getting his rocks off. As much as I like the big oaf, he's a deer in the headlights when a girl is paying attention to him. I mean, come on. Apparently even Samantha got a piece. He's kind of a hoe like you when you think about it. You don't even care about him. Why are you acting like this if you don't even care? Because I didn't say you could touch him, that's why. He's my plaything as long as I feel like, and that means you can back the hell off or face the consequences. If I'm feeling generous, maybe I'll let you and Sammy have a turn when I'm finished. Consequences? What? Who the hell do you even think you are? Do you know exactly who I am? I will ruin you, sweetheart. Do you really want to play games with me? Stacy opened her mouth to reply, but you could see the uncertainty in her eyes from across the room. Poor Stacy. The riled up, angry teen reverted to a quiet, scared little girl and just wound up staring at her feet as Janice scoffed and shook her head. Stacy knew exactly the world of hurt she was putting herself into by picking a fight with the queen bee, and from the looks of it, she was quickly rethinking her aggressive strategy with the girl. It was tough to watch at the end, but it looked like our efforts were having an effect for sure. This is beautiful. I can't tell if I'm holding back tears of joy or laughter right now. Getting turned on watching your ex destroy another Ethan? Gross. Valerie, you sent naked pictures to Ethan. Like, calm down. You're no better. Oh, come on. You know as well as I that Stacy is just as bad. Doesn't matter who gets the sharp end of all this, as long as the carnage ensues. Doesn't seem like there's going to be a whole lot of carnage if Janet just intimidates Stacy into submission. Things are getting real quiet, real quick. Don't count on it. This show is far from over. I narrowed my eyes towards Lena, who once again had that amused look on her face that didn't fit her sugary sweet exterior. To me, it didn't look like the drama we needed was going to continue, but Lena knew this stuff better than I. I turned back to the scene, as quiet as it had become, frowning as I noticed another girl slowly approaching Jana from behind. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'll forgive your betrayal if you apologize and promise not to as much as look at Sal again, understood? But Sal is the one that cheated. Why are you mad at Stacy? Oh, it's because you're in high school, so you have like two brain cells. That's right. I think that's pretty damn nice of me. Jana's words caught in her throat, and we all looked on in awe as the unknown girl shoved Jana hard. Jana's body lurched forward as she completely lost her balance, tumbling forward and face first right into the food all over the floor. Ethan just about died laughing, and he wasn't the only one. Where are the teachers in all this? Jana struggled up to her hands and knees, runny cafeteria mashed potatoes dripping from her chin as she brought her face up. She whipped her head back towards her attacker, murder in her eyes as she grabbed on the edge of the table to pull herself back to her feet. She was not happy. "You're dead!" A noticeable hush fell over the cafeteria students as Janet proceeded to collect herself and slowly approach the girl I assumed to be Samantha. Nobody had seen action like this in a long while, and anticipation was at an all-time high. Ethan, meanwhile, had gotten up and moved his way to a better position to see the fruits of our labors solidify. "I hope you know you just made the biggest mistake of your life, new girl. You've got another thing coming if you really think I'd just sit back and let you run your mouth about me." The two were laser focused on one another and ready to pounce at the drop of a hat. Stacy, out of consideration for her own safety and well-being, took a few steps back to avoid the inevitable brawl that was clearly about to happen. In that moment, I turned around to see students towards the back of the room clearing the way for what appeared to be one of the school's faculty. Finally! Jeez. Seems like our little show is about to have a premature finale. "Break it up! Break it up!" The girls reluctantly backed away from each other and collected themselves. Jana, now cleaning the excess food from her face with cheap cafeteria napkins, turned to Samantha and Stacy with enmity in her eyes. "This is not over." Before any hands could be thrown, the fight had been broken up by Cheyenne Mountain's very own Principal Fedorowicz. Waving his hands wildly through the air with a face that would have made a tomato look only pink, the man quickly forced his way through the crowd to find and apprehend the belligerents. "Show's over, everyone. There's nothing more to see here." Well, shit. Leave it to old Fedorable to put an end to the only form of entertainment this school will probably ever see. Disappointed, the crowd of gathered students had gone back to their respective seats and places in the lunch line, silently murmuring about the altercation that had just ensued. Still, all eyes were glued to the principal and his apprehended cheerleaders as he escorted them out of the room towards his office. I don't think his timing could have been any worse. "You're telling me." He changed his... Look, he has another pose. That's like the first time we've seen that. And his pants are very... His pants seem very tight. I'll just put it that way. "You're telling me." "I've been looking forward to this all damn day, Tug. All day." "Can't be helped, I guess. At least nobody got hurt physically, though." "I wouldn't count on it being over by a long shot anyway. If there's anything certain about those girls, it's that their grudges aren't likely to go away anytime soon, especially for Jana." I'm crossing my fingers for another food fight. I'd say there's little to no chance of that kind of thing happening again on school grounds. "So you're saying there's a chance?" As per usual, Roz's unique brand of inelegant humor fell on deaf ears, with the exception of Lena, of course. "Either way, I just want to be there if it happens again. Better yet, I'd really like to see the coach's reaction to all of this when he catches word of what's going on between them and Sal." Cough. Oh, sorry. "Not likely." God damn it, Ross. I can dream, can't I? Despite the fight being broken up a little too early for our liking, the whole altercation had definitely lifted everyone's spirits, whether they noticed it or not. It was nice to see everyone getting along and having fun for once. That's not to say that things are usually bad, but rather that life in the Springs isn't as exciting as one would think. It made it easy to fall into a slump every now and again. Well, I'd love to stay and chat about our little experience just now, but I'd rather not be late to literature. Ross, are you coming? Literature? I hardly know her. I'm done. Nope. Valerie slowly faced away from the table and proceeded to class without Ross. The two shared the same literature class after lunch every day, so it wasn't strange of her to ask him to join her. It was simply the phrasing that did her in this time. Whoa, wait up! Sorry, guys, catch you later. We all gave him a half-hearted wave as he fumbled out of his seat and after Val. Yeah, I ought to get going too. I'm definitely not feeling philosophy right now, but I think I should probably be careful how many times I skip this semester. Bye, Tucker. Thanks again, Tuck. I'll see you around. I nodded my head and reluctantly proceeded to class. Ethan and Lena were lucky enough to have free periods after lunch, which meant that they could take their time and relax after eating. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little jealous. Alright, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here because I actually recorded a little bit longer than I normally do. So lots of high school drama, as usual. I guess high school drama is just what we have to expect from this series. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day!